All right, so William Zepeda stops Maxi Hughes in 4 rounds. It was an interesting watch, but it was a very difficult watch at times as well. Certainly, if you're a Maxi Hughes fan, it was a very difficult watch at some points because he took, after round two, round two started really, he was taking a pretty bad beating in there. A pretty damn bad beating. And, Maxi Hughes is 34 years old now. That fight right there, that will put a lot of miles on the clock. A lot of miles on the clock. Now, going into this fight, I felt that Zepeda would win at 135. He's something else. He really is. This guy's work rate is insane. He's able to keep that work rate going throughout the course of a 12-round bout, which is again crazy. I mean, this guy's punch output is something to behold. It really is. It's absolutely crazy. This guy, the amount of punches this guy throws per round, and it's like there's no real let off. It's honestly, he's fun to watch. He really is a fun fighter to watch. William Zepeda. Maxi Hughes is a fighter who I like his story. I've had him on here for an interview a couple of years ago, and Maxi Hughes is someone who he really is a case in point of a loss doesn't define you. He's a real case in point of someone who lost early on in his career. He didn't really have the backing. He was working on, I think he was working on a building site at the time. Boxing was kind of a part-time source of income. And yeah, took some losses down at domestic level. He wasn't really going anywhere. Then he was able to get a proper managerial backing behind him. He switched trainers, started working with Sean O'Hagan, the trainer of Josh Warrington, the dad of Josh Warrington as well. And you started seeing him improve and improve and improve. Then he got, a managerial company behind him. He worked with Eddie Hearn very briefly on a couple of fights. He was able to box full time, and we see how good he became. Very talented fighter is Maxi Hughes. In my opinion, he should be fighting Lomachenko. It shouldn't be Kambosos. It should be Maxi Hughes. I felt that he beat Kambosos last year. I felt that that was a pretty clear win, to be honest with you, for Maxi Hughes. I think it was on ESPN who showed it, and I'm pretty sure that they had Maxi Hughes winning by a good margin as well. I really do feel as though he should be in there. Obviously, it's in Perth. Would have been in Perth if it was Hughes, I doubt it. But I feel he should be in there with Lomachenko and not Kambosos. I thought that was a Maxi Hughes win, and I still maintain that. So he took this fight to try and get himself back in at world title level, or try and get back in at the world honours against the very dangerous, very talented William Zepeda. So it was always going to be an uphill battle, because honestly, William Zepeda, I would probably pick him over Kambosos, to be honest with you. I think he's a very talented fighter. So I knew this wouldn't be easy. I knew this was an uphill battle. And when you're dealing with, again, and they always have to bring it up, but it is true, you're dealing with UK versus Mexico. I mean, yikes. The UK versus Mexico head-to-head at this stage, it has got to be unbelievably one-sided, because it just seems like it's just never ending now. It really does. It just seems like UK-Mexico put it on the Mexican. It just seems that way at this stage. And again, this was a good, case in point. Let's talk about the fight and talk about the rounds that happened. So Maxi Hughes, actually, I gave him the first round. It was competitive. William Zepeda, it's kind of a tale of two halves. Maxi Hughes, the first minute and a half, was doing really good work. He was catching and countering. He was moving quite well. Zepeda, I don't want to say slow by his standards. Anyone else would look at Zepeda, would look at like that first round Zepeda had and say, not really much feeling out there. But compared to how Zepeda is in terms of his punch output and how he starts fights, this was slow by his standards. I think he only threw about 60, 70 punches thereabouts, maybe a little bit more. Again, someone would say, well, that's not exactly a slow start by Zepeda. If you hear some of the punches, the punch numbers, which I'll talk about now in a wee bit, that he did in the subsequent rounds, you'll say, he warmed his way into this fight. But it was a good first round for Maxi Hughes. He was landing some good shots. As I said, he was catching and countering, doing some good work. So from the first round, you look at that and you think, okay, could be onto something here. We could be onto a good fight. Maxi Hughes, I gave him the first round. Yes, Zepeda came back into it as the round progressed. But personally, I preferred the work that was coming from Maxi Hughes. So you look at that and you think, okay, the counter punching of Maxi Hughes, the movement of Maxi Hughes, mix that with the, relentless pressure and the, punch output of William Zepeda, could be onto something. It could be onto a good fight. Round number 2 comes up. That's when it went downhill for Maxi Hughes. Now, he never touched down at all throughout the course of this fight. But round 2, he took a big beating, and he seemed to unravel quite quickly in round 2. It seemed as though like the fight had already been beaten out of him by that round. He took a lot of shots, a lot of body shots, a lot of head shots, and I want to say it, the writing was pretty much on the wall from round two. You see, Maxi Hughes has respectable power. I know he's not got many knockouts, but he does have respectable punching power there. He can hurt you. Zepeda, though, just nope, no respect. What was it they said? That he was almost like a, I forget how it was Sergio Morris said it, but it was right. It was almost like he's tied to Maxi Hughes. Wherever he goes, it's always a following him like that. Maxi Hughes just couldn't breathe in there. Round number three, more of the same. I think they said going into the fourth round he threw 153 punches in round three alone. That's insane. Round 153 punches. Honest, that's insane. Even by lightweight standards. And again, more of the same. By that stage, they were already talking on commentary about, yeah, let's see. Let's see if the corner do what they really should be doing. Because by then it was apparent what was going to happen, and it was getting a little bit difficult to watch. Round four was the worst. I mean, that round right there, they stopped Maxi Hughes at the end of the fourth round. Sean O'Hagan said, no more, we're pulling you out. In all fairness, they really probably could have done it throughout the course of that round, because that round it was getting a little bit difficult to watch for Maxi Hughes in there. You could see he had nothing to keep this guy off with. He was God loved a trier, and he was trying his damnedest in there, but it was all just, the writing was on the wall. It was futile, really, what was coming back from Maxi Hughes. William Zepeda, the thing that they said on commentary is that Maxi Hughes could look at what Zepeda's doing, and he could say, okay, he's throwing everything but the kitchen sink at me. I'm still here, but you're going to know that he's not going to slow down and tire. You know, if that was any other fighter, you'd say, okay, he can't keep this punch output. He is going to slow down. He might punch himself out. I have to withstand this and I can come back into it. You would think that with most fighters, but not with Zepeda, who we know he can, amazingly, he can maintain this punch output throughout the course of a fight. And yeah, he took a beating in there. No complaint with the corner stopping the fight, definitely. If anything, they probably could have thrown the towel in midway through the fourth round, in all fairness. But that's that. Zepeda moves on. It's a good win with Maxi Hughes, 34 years old. That was a bad loss in terms of how much punishment he took. So I don't really know where he goes from here, what he does. Him and Gary Cully have had back and forths for years. I think they were meant to fight at one stage a couple of years ago. Honestly, I'd take that fight if I was Maxi Hughes. I'd probably fancy him over Gary Cully. To be honest with you, I would. Seeing how Cully looked in his last fight, I'd be like, yeah, I probably would take him in that fight. So maybe that's an option. Who knows? But that's my thoughts on this. Let me know yours in the comments below. Lads, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments below. Smash the like button if you could. Subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. And for now, I'll leave it there. Peace.